Welcome to the Be Like That podcast. I'm your host, Dan, and we got a great show for you guys today. First things first, how everybody's doing. I know what you're thinking. Dan, what the hell you doing? Why you ain't doing the pod? I've been slacking. I've been slacking. But I'm gonna get back right to it. I know you saying again, you've been saying that for the last couple of times you've been on here and you ain't been consistent. So I need y'all to hold me accountable. I gotta hold myself accountable. Also, that's the main point. And I gotta continue to do the pod and get these takes out. I think my takes are fire. I think I got the best takes out there on a fan. I look at everything through a fan perspective. I'm not acting like I know everything. I'm not acting like I'm an analyst at this, or acting like I play college football, play NFL. I'm an expert or scout. I'm just giving you I'm looking through the lens of a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a diehard, hardcore fan of football. I'm just giving you my perspectives on that. So we got a great show for you tonight. Some of this stuff is stuff that probably done happened last week or the week or 2 weeks ago, but we still got to get into it though because we laid on it and it's very important. We're going to talk about LSU. It's late. Last week they fired Brian Kelly after they lost to Vanderbilt. We're going to talk about they lose to Vanderbilt. No, they didn't lose after they lost to who did they lose to? Texas A&M. Now they lost to Texas A&M last week. We got to talk about. I'm gonna give y'all my NFL Hall of Fame class of 2026 early prediction. I'm gonna give you what I think they're gonna do because there's so many things going on. I'm gonna break down because now they have so many categories now. I don't get. Well, I think they're trying to just please people. They have a senior category now. They have a contributor category, and they have the modern day category too. So they got 3 categories that they try to push. I don't know how many people are going to be in it. It doesn't make sense to have that many people that you feel like should be a finalist to be in the Hall of Fame. Have that many people. It's like over. If you can take all the accounts of each category, it's like over like 40, 50 people, and only 5 gonna get in. And usually, how you look at it, they have it's usually 4 modern day, 1 senior, 1 contributor coach. The contributing coach is looked in the same box. You put that in the same realm. But we're gonna get into that. And we gotta talk about Deion in Colorado. I thought last week was bad against Arizona. Oof. I thought last week was bad against Utah. Last game against Arizona, then they look worse. So we're gonna talk about Deion too and what I feel like Colorado needs to do because they can't fire him. So everybody's saying fire, they just paid him. You know what I'm saying? It's not smart. But in 2026, his buyout is $10 million. So we're going to get into that. But the first thing we're going to get into Brian Kelly getting fired by LSU. And I feel like this was inevitable, in my opinion. If I'm spelling your name wrong, Mr. Kelly, my bad. I apologize. But we got to get into this because I feel like it was inevitable. I didn't really feel like it was a good fit, him going there. Because when you're going to a school like Notre Dame, you're not. It's just the SEC is just different. When you're in Notre Dame independent, they can do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? They're in their own club. But then when you got to join the big boy club in SEC and you're with LSU, LSU is known for being competitive every year. And don't get me wrong, they were competitive every year under Brian Kelly, but it just felt like they was never going to get over that hump. And it felt like there was no progress made. Or like, okay, your first 3 years, you lost 2 games. Okay, this year it's like it's a must that you at least lose 1, get to the playoffs, and he couldn't even do that in his 3 years there. He didn't have some players. He didn't have players. You know what I'm saying? He had Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thompson. So he didn't have some players, but it could never all come together for him to have like at least a 1-loss season or just an undefeated season or just a 1-loss season. He couldn't do that. He kept losing. They kept underachieving. And eventually the AD and the alumni LSU get tired of it. And they just like, this guy's not a fit. He's probably not a people person. People say that about he's known for not being a people person. So he probably rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? In that staff, in that facility. So they probably just like, good riddance, get up out of here. And we're cool with paying that buyout. I think his buyout like what, 30, 40 million. That's how you know they got a lot of money at LSU and they're cool with paying a dude 30, 40 million to get to say bye-bye. That's how you know a school got them racks. So LSU, they got so sick and tired of him, they couldn't even wait to the end of the season. They say bye-bye now. We don't want you coming back now. So, and that's on Brian Kelly, man. I just feel like they couldn't ever get over that hump. And when you're in the SEC, which is very competitive, you have to show progress, especially at LSU, bro. LSU should always compete for national championships. Even though you look at their history, the last season they were really competitive was the 2019 season. If you look past that, 2011. So we can say all we want. LSU hasn't really been that competitive, to be honest with you, since the 2019 season, and before that was 8 years, the 2011 season. So I know a lot of people. I know that's the culture of LSU and being the SEC. You expect them to win, but they really haven't had a winning culture in a long, long time. And even when they did win, you look at the time they won before that, it was a minute too. So I don't know where LSU can go next. I know people saying Lane Kiffin. I don't think he's going to stay go. I know people saying Deion not going there, bro. He gotta show that he can win at Colorado before he goes to the big boys club. I hear a lot of people saying Dan Lanning. I think he's gonna stay at Oregon. When you're still in a competitive conference in the Big Ten, so it doesn't make sense to go to the SEC. When in reality, the Big Ten, the SEC, really just based on the last couple of years, they're really on the same level. So I don't really know who you can bring in that understands LSU, understands that culture, that has a history of success, of showing that he has the potential to be a great coach. I don't see that guy unless you bring somebody in with some experience. You gonna call Nick Saban back and say, you want to come back? You know what I'm saying? Last time we saw Nick Saban, he won a national championship at LSU before he went to Miami. Player to go to NFL, to go to Miami Dolphins. So it just depends on who they bring. I just hope they bring in somebody that understands the culture, understands that nature at LSU in Louisiana, and they can bring back a winning culture. I don't think LSU. I'm not saying they're gonna bring somebody that can win championships off the rip or in 2 years, but somebody that has you competitive playing in the playoffs. Okay, it doesn't make sense. LSU should be in the playoffs every year. Just like people expect Alabama and Georgia to be in the playoffs, LSU should be that team always we see in the playoffs. They should just every year, annually, they should yearly, they should be in the playoffs, bro. Yearly, they should be in the playoffs yearly. Year after year after year after year, you should see them in the playoffs. It's just be a natural thing. Every time playoff season comes, they're in the playoff. And when we don't see that, it's like, what the hell? Why LSU not playing as well? Why they losing to this team? Why they losing to that team? And that's what they got to deal with. They just got to play better. And if they do that, I think LSU, like I said, whoever they bring in, if they do that, I think they should be straight. That they can convince Dan Lanning to leave Oregon to come there, that'll be a great thing. Because I think he can change the program around, and they'll be very competitive. Because if you can make Oregon competitive, he can go to the SEC. Like I said, Big Ten and SEC is no difference, bro. There's no difference. We just watched Ohio State win the national championship, and they played against Texas and Tennessee and mollywopped them. So don't give me that. No, people don't care about that, bro. As long as you can play, you can play. Before Washington even went to the Big Ten, I watched Michael Penix Jr. Demolish Texas in the All-State Sugar Bowl. So that don't mean nothing, bro. I think that the Big Ten and SEC, they're on the same level. Depending on who you ask, they might tell you they like the SEC better or they like the Big Ten better. Me personally, I'm an SEC boy because I'm from the South. But the Big Ten, they either, if you want to say SEC is an inch better or they're the same level, you wouldn't be wrong. So that's how I look at that. But I just think Brian Kelly, his recruiting wasn't wrong. I just they couldn't bring it all together to be a competitive team. You know what I'm saying? LSU, they expect to win national championship or compete for national championship. So when you don't get there, it's championship or bust every year for LSU. It just is because they have a culture, or they think they have a culture of winning. You know what I'm saying? I wish some of the fans would be more realistic. The fact that you really haven't won nothing since Joe Burrow, and the time before that is when Tyrann Matthews was there. So hope you know what I'm saying, humble yourself a little bit. But at the same time, you can't tell the fans how to feel, bro. And it just shows you, for them to just say good riddance to a dude that's, you look at his record, really you winning 8, you winning 9 to 10 games a season with the dude his last 3 years, and you say good riddance. It just shows you the writing was on the wall, and they just got tired of him, and they was ready to just pull that plug on him. So it is what it is. Brian Kelly probably is gonna get another job. He's a good coach. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised he goes to Virginia Tech, like it's Vol Tech. That job gonna be open. I don't see him going to no SEC team. It don't make sense to you go to LSU, you leave, get fired from LSU. Now you're going to Auburn. Nah, I don't see that. I think we'll probably see him in a Mountain West school, a school like the Mountain West, ACC, one of those schools that probably have a job opening. He's gonna be straight, bro. Or if I'm him, bro, just be on TV, be an analyst, bro. You know what I'm saying? Be an analyst, be a commentator. Do that. That's what I think he should do. You know what I'm saying? Because he has a lot of knowledge. He knows a lot about football. You know what I'm saying? He's a smart guy. So I can see him on TV, CBS, ESPN, Fox. It don't really matter, bro. I think he'll do good on TV. So that's my point. That's my thoughts on that. Next point, let's stay with college football. Let's get into Colorado, man. I know a lot of the Deion Sanders fans. The Deion Sanders stands. I know y'all gonna have all the excuses in the world why the team sucks. A lot of y'all gonna say it's the team, not Deion, even though he the head coach. And now you see a lot of guys like Matt McChesney, you see Bomani Jones, you see the Emmanuel Achos. They're done pandering. They're telling the truth now. And the team isn't good, bro. Deion Sanders is not that good of a coach. He has poor time management skills as a head coach. The team overall is really not that good. And it shows that you can't buy players, bro. You can't buy players if you don't have a culture. The difference, and people always say, well, Kurt Cinetti, look at him. They're always in the transporter, but they still have a culture there. There's no culture in Colorado, bro. There's no culture. That's why they don't win nothing. There's no culture at all, bro. The reason why Indiana, they could bring in a whole bunch of guys, they still have a culture set there that people, when you come in, you have to understand this is the culture here, and either you're going to respect it or you're going to leave. Either you're going to play how we play and play the Indiana way, or you're going to go somewhere. I don't think kids feel that way in Colorado, bro. It's not the Colorado way, it's the Deion way, and you can't win nothing like that. It's the coach way. No, it got to be the culture. It got to be the team. Are you gonna play like a buff? Are you gonna play like a Colorado buff? I don't feel like those guys. I feel like it's more of a Deion team than the Colorado Buffs. The school. It's supposed to be the school. It ain't supposed to be the coach. Yeah, he the face of the team. He the head coach. But it's the Alabama way. It wasn't Nick Saban way. It was the Alabama way. And when you play for Alabama, you're gonna play like an Alabama Crimson Tide. But now when I look at Colorado, bro, it's just they all over the place. One, they have done a lot of people would think that this kid, the starting quarterback, Slater, whatever his name, let me go find his name. A lot of people would think that the kid that they got from transfer portal, they would think he's bad. But I'm here to tell you the kid is not bad, man. Deion Sanders. He's not bad at all. The problem is you got a guy who's more of a spread RPO, you know what I'm saying? Runs. He likes to, you know what I'm saying? You dial in some runs for him. He's more of a like Malik Willis. He's one of those type of cats. Malik Willis, you know what I'm saying? Get him running. He like to run the ball and he like to throw. When he played for Liberty, he had like 3,000 yards pass, 800 yards rushing. He's like a Malik Willis. You got to let him use his legs and use his arm. But you got to keep him on the move. He's better throwing the ball on the move. But when you got a guy like Pat Sherman, who's more of a pro style type of guy, they're not meshing well, bro. They're not meshing well, and to a point where I just feel like they were so desperate to try to have a great year this year. They just, okay, he's the number one guy. Let's convince him to come. Instead of saying, okay, does he fit the team? Deion Sanders does not fit the system and scheme offensively that the Colorado Buffaloes want to run. And it's obvious when you watch it. The Ryan Stab kid, he does a little bit, but he's just not that good, in my opinion, to run that offense consistently because he makes mistakes. He's just not that good. He's not better than Salter. Even though he runs that system well, he's just not better. Salter's a more you gotta get him out in space, let him run that thing around. You know what I'm saying? Then he get with the play action. Like he's like a Malik Willis. He basically replaced Malik Willis at Liberty. Similar styles. He wouldn't really do well in NFL unless you have someone like a Matt LaFleur that can work with him to help you win some games. But besides that, I think Deion has done him a disservice. Number two, the defense is terrible, bro. Like their defense is atrocious. They can't get to the quarterback. Middle linebackers is terrible. They're not crashing down, hitting nothing. And the secondary is weak. The secondary is weak. Overall, that secondary is weak. I'm just sorry, y'all. The secondary is weak, bro. And that's on Deion. That's recruiting. He say he don't go do visits. He don't do in-home visits. He don't do none of that stuff. They come visit him. He don't go visit nobody. That's stupid. Why would you say that? It sound cool when your son on the team. Now your son and Travis Hunter gone. Who's on there that's good? People keep saying that Seton kid is a first-round pick. Where? No, he's not. He's okay. He's an okay tackle. Just because he's a five-star don't mean, he's projected since nah, bro. I don't go with that. He's okay. He's decent. He has to play better also. But overall, Colorado just not good, man. And if they keep this up, you got to fire Deion. There's no way you can keep Deion on your team, bro, playing this bad. I'm sorry, bro. There's no way you can keep Deion Sanders on your team and you're playing this bad. The team is not good at all. 53-7, 56-7. Come on, bro. Who's going to tell them? Who's going to tell him, bro? Over 100 points in less than 20 points. Less than 24 points. You done gave over 100 points and you done scored less than 28 points. That's sad, man. That is sad. And I just watch Shannon, and I just watch Ocho, and I watch some of these guys, man. It's just like I just don't get it, man. When it comes to Deion, all these guys will run to his defense. I didn't see none of y'all run to James Franklin defense. I didn't see nobody say, well, come on, they've been competitive. Ben State been competitive. Everybody was like, yeah, he need to get fired. 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 You know, Keyshawn Johnson said before he got fired, the team quit on him. Has the team not quit on Deion Sanders, letting 50 put the team, they got 50 put on them? So once you call them lost to what was it, Northwestern, they quit on him. James Franklin. When Penn State lost to Northwestern, they quit on him. But when Colorado give up 50 piece when they give up a 50 piece to Utah and Arizona, that's not quitting on Deion. I don't get it, bro. Y'all contradict yourselves all the time, bro. But that's how you know when it comes to Deion, he has his stance. Everybody else don't get that same love. Deion, he could play the race card. I'm gonna say he's not gonna play the race card. I'm gonna give him. I'm not gonna do him like that. I'm not gonna say he a race better than like that. I'm gonna give him a pass. I'm gonna say that he gonna take responsibility, take it on the chin. And he did admit this is one of his worst losses of his career, and he gonna try to be better from it and try to make sure the team is ready, prepared for next game. And I respect that's what you're supposed to say as a head coach. But I just feel like Deion, he needed this butt whooping this season to humble himself. And maybe next year, preseason, you know what I'm saying, before the college football season starts for 2026, you probably hear more of a humble Deion, a guy who know I'm on the hot seat. We're probably going to be 3-9, 4-8 this season, like we were in my first year, and I can't have that next year. Deion has to at least win 8 to 9 games next year for it to be a success. If he does not win that, you have to fire him. If you're Colorado, you have to just go ahead and pay that $10 million buyout in 2026 and say holla and bring somebody else in, bro. He's destroyed the culture and the Buffs, bro. And he doesn't respect the culture. He doesn't respect the history of the Buffalo. All it is about him. Like he said, he bringing his luggage and his Louis. It's not, brother. It's Temu. Your luggage Temu, bro. You talking about you bringing this? No, it's Amazon worthy. It's not, bro. It's Temu. It's Dollar Tree. Family Dollar, Dollar General. That's what it is. That's what your luggage is, bro. It ain't what you thought it was. Y'all suck. Y'all terrible. And then that's what they got to deal with, bro. If you're a Colorado fan, I told you a long time ago, bro. The writing was on the wall, bro. It was inevitable for y'all to start sucking. And I don't want to hear no excuses, bro. I don't hear no, well, this is the no, bro. They suck. Y'all. I tell y'all should not be this bad after a 9-3 season. Y'all should not be this bad. But when you don't believe in recruiting high school, and all you believe in, okay, we can replace it by bringing in a guy who's a junior or a senior red shirt to bring him in, and he could just come in, and we don't miss a beat. It's not working, bro, because you need those freshmen. You need to develop kids. Them you should plug and pull. Them the guy you should plug in. Not, I'm gonna bring him in. He been playing for 3 years. He'll transfer, even though this is gonna be his fourth team. Let's bring him in. We're gonna be straight. No, bro, the team is terrible. Bro. They're not all together. And it's the results of now you're 3-5. You suck. No, you're 3-6. You suck. You're missing the play. You're not bowl eligible this year. You lost 6 games. So if you're a Colorado fan, man, pray that next year. Better luck next year. That's all I can say to you. Better luck next year. But right now, I don't see how you can have faith in Deion right now. The team is atrocious. The team is atrocious, bro. And I don't think it's going to get better. They're finna start Juju this week. Hopefully he can show something this Saturday. But he going to have his struggles. He a freshman. I feel like he fits that pro-style Pat Shermer system more than Salters did. But that's on Deion not evaluating and understanding that, okay, this kid does this. He was successful doing this at Liberty. That's emulate that. That's install that. So he can succeed in Florida. They didn't do that. They like, you going to come in. You going to play our system. It don't work like that. And look, put yourself in a bad position. He's not Shador. He doesn't have the arm like Shador, but he's a way better athlete than Shador. And you can use his mobility and him throwing the ball off the run while running. You can use that. Use him with the play action and use his mobility to win games. And they didn't do that. And it is what it is. And that's why you benching him. You brought the Ryan Stab kid in. He okay, but he's not good enough to really be a starting guy, especially in the Big 12. He's not a Big 12 quarterback. Probably a Sun Belt or Conference USA quarterback, but he's not a Big 12 quarterback, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I respect his loyalty, but he should have transferred to a lesser school and he'd probably be way better and flourish based on the plan, the level of competition. Now you starting Juju. Let's see what he do. And I think Juju gonna be straight. Like I said, he gonna have his bumps and bruises, but he gonna look good though, bro. I know a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people saying that Deion probably didn't play him because of that. I think Deion was just being loyal to Salter and the kid. I think he was just showing love and repaying back to the kids. Ryan Stab stayed. That's why he made him third. I think it was just more of a just we brought Salters in to be the quarterback. He's a senior. Let him play. And Stab, we respect you for being loyal and staying here so you can stay too. That's all I thought that was. And it hasn't worked out. That's on, like I said, that's on Deion, his evaluating player. He can't, he's not good at evaluating player or talent, obviously, because they're not good at all. And when you're just talking about when you're that would make me question him, bro. And I know I'm just all over the place a little bit, but that would make me question him because it seems like the reason why you don't want to go scout high school because I think Deion doesn't really know talent. Unless the kid that jumps off the screen for Deion, I don't think Deion really know how to evaluate talent. And I think he don't have the right people around him that knows how to evaluate talent when it comes to the high school level. I think he doesn't. And that's why he just rather have a kid that's already established, that's shown that he can play in college football instead of going out and finding these kids in the local Buffalo, trying to find kids in Colorado that's actually good and actually can ball and play for their hometown school. But they're not doing that. The home state school, they're not doing that at all. They're not doing that. We're going to bring a boy from Georgia. We're going to bring a boy from Florida. We're going to bring a boy from Miami. We're going to bring, I'll be from Georgia, Florida. We're going to bring a boy from Nevada. We're going to bring a boy from New York. That's what they're doing, bro. He got 2-3 years already playing college football instead of going and recruit these young bulls and develop them, making them great. And now you can have some leeway and you can show like, oh, I can build talent. I can develop talent. Look how many kids I got going to NFL. Deion not doing that. So until he does that, until he got his own way and stop talking about that cool old job turkey stuff, and actually being a real coach and showing that he can actually develop and he can seek out talent and they can win in Colorado, they can be competitive. I don't know what you do. Like I say, next year they're not good. By week 5, if y'all don't have a winning record and y'all suck and y'all like 1-4, I'll get rid of them. That's my feeling on it. That's all I got to say. Now, before we get into some of the games from last night, I want to talk about something that I'm very passionate about, that I care about every year. And that is the NFL Hall of Fame class of 2026 early predictions. And to be honest with y'all, bro, the reason why I'm passionate about this, bro, because I feel like the last couple of years, I don't get what these Hall of Fame voters be thinking, man. And it started with me, the 2022 class. And no disrespect to some of those guys on there, Leroy Butler, who I never heard of until that, and that's probably me. I have to do my education on that. That ain't him. That's probably me. What's my boy Sam Mills? I watched the Football Life on him. Get to him in a minute. Bryant Young. I heard about Bryant Young. I knew about him being on that front line, the front D line for the 49ers back in the day. Won a Super Bowl, the 49ers 1995. I'm not gonna really get into some of the old school guys, you know what I'm saying? I really don't talk about the old school. A lot of times we shit on the old school guys, especially the 70s and the 80s. But just sticking on the guys I just mentioned, to be honest with you, bro, when you gotta realize they're finalists just like a Allen, a Jared Allen, a DeMarcus Ware, and just there's no world or nobody that really knows football will pick Bryant Young, Sam Mills over Jared Allen and DeMarcus Ware. Now, you want to put Richard Seymour in there because he won Super Bowls. I know we love doing that. Sometimes when you have these dynasties, you'll probably pick the best player. You know what I'm saying? You'll put a guy, even though he had a great career. You can say he had a great career. You'll make him a Hall of Fame just because the rings carry so much weight. We've seen that before. So I get why they put Richard Seymour in. So I'm not tripping off that. But there's no way I watched Sam Mills' documentary. You watch that whole documentary, there was no point of it that made it feel like he was a Hall of Famer. I felt like they did that just for sympathy. I just did that. Oh, the family. I just don't. It's just hard for me, and I want to talk to the president And I really respect what they do, but they're just terrible, bro. They're just terrible. They just putting anybody in. And what's the criteria? Because there's no time where you're going to tell me that Bryant Young, who people barely know, is better than DeMarcus Ware and Jared Allen, who everybody knows. There's no way Jared Allen has to wait 2 years. There's no way that DeMarcus Ware is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. But you put Bryant Young in front of him. If I don't care that Bryant Young got in, he can get in, but he can't get in before Jared Allen and DeMarcus Ware. And that's what we've been seeing. DeMarcus Ware got to wait a year. Tony Gates got to wait a year. I just don't get this stuff. And the people you're putting in ahead of him is I'm scratching my head. It's a head scratcher. It's like, nah, I don't. There's no disrespect to none of those guys I'm talking about. Cliff Branch, how you Hall of Famer? Cause he can run fast. Bro. I'm telling you, like, I'm a NFL. I used to be I watch NFL Network all day. I remember the top 10 Raiders. I remember the speedsters. Cliff Branch was one of those. Nobody ever talked about him as a Hall of Famer. I don't get some of this stuff, bro. It's just now he a Hall of Famer now. But he was never talked about it when he played. But 20 years later, now he's worthy of one. So some of the time it's just like, okay, we just gonna give it just to give it. We gotta stop doing it. We gotta put guys in before other guys because impact matters. And so let's look at this list right here. Let me go to this list. See, can I find it? Find this list real quick. Here it is right here. I wanna slim by mama with some jerk. You see right here. Man, go with that, bro. Man. See, bro, I hate when I do that, John. They always doing that. Hold on. No limit soldiers. No limit soldiers. I told you. Dang, everybody. Okay, here it is. It's like I got it on X. Hold on, let me see. Okay, here it is right here. And I'm just gonna give you my list of guys. And some of the guys not on this list. This is the modern era players. I'm about to poke. Hold on, I didn't put it up yet. Let me put it up. Hold on. Let me. Which one is it? Okay, here it is right here. Let me zoom in. Oh. And it's the list right here. I don't think you can see. Y'all might not can see everything, but look, man, bear with me, bro. It's the list. When you look at the list, you got the quarterbacks. I'm gonna give you some of the names. You got Drew Brees, first ballot, first year eligible. Eli Manning, this is his second year. He didn't get in last year, his first year. Phillip Rivers, that's some of the quarterbacks. Running backs, we got Frank Gore, Marshawn Lynch, Shady McCoy, Lorenzo Neal, that's a fullback. Fred Taylor, Ricky Waters, some of the names. Wide receivers, the face of this group of guys: Larry Fitzgerald, Steve Smith Sr., Torrey Holt, Jimmy Smith, Hines Ward, Reggie Wayne. Tight ends, you got Greg and Jason Witten, Greg Olsen, Jason Witten. Special teams, Gary Anderson, Adam Vinatieri, really the only guy I look at that's worthy. The rest of them, stop it. O-lineman, we got Willie Anderson, Marquise Pouncey, Logan Mankins, Jahir Evans, Marsha Yonda, who's a dog. Marsha Yonda is a beast. I like him. Steve Winniski, D lineman, John Abraham. Shout out to him. Basically, Falcons' last great defensive player. Robert Mathis, Haloe Haynada, Simeon Rice, Vince Wilfork, the nose guard, and Kevin Williams. Linebackers: London Fetcher, James Harris, Luke Kuechly, and Terrell Suggs. That's a nice group. DBs, you got Sante Earl, Charles Tillman, Troy Vincent, Daryl Woodson, and Rodney Harrison. That's just some of the names right there. When you look at this list, last year they only put 4 guys in. They only put 4. They put Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, and Sterling Sharp. This year, I think they did that just because people was complaining, and now they're going to come out this year. This is my opinion. I think they're going to put at least 6 guys in this year. I think last year everybody was complaining about they put too many people in. They put 4 in. Now everybody's saying you didn't put how you gonna do this? Now I think the president, he's just like, you know what, y'all, you can't please everybody. Let's just do 6 to 7 guys every year. People gonna complain. It is what it is. But if you look at some of the guys that's coming up, that's retiring, I don't mind it being 6-7. After the last couple of years, I did mind it because wasn't that many great players. But the next couple of years of the guys going to be first time eligible, I respect the list. I respect the list because when I'm looking at Tom Brady's coming soon, J.J. Watt's coming soon, Big Ben's coming soon. So you got some guys that had some great careers that's coming soon, that's retired. Adrian Peterson. You know what I'm saying? So Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, a lot of these guys, they're coming soon. So I'm not really tripping off of it. I appreciate it. So when I'm looking at this, my list. Number 1, first ballot. First, when we talk about just first ballot, the first 2 dudes, it's obvious 100% they're getting in. Because I think I like the list of the first guys, first eligible guys, when Phillip, Frank, LaShawn, Larry, Greg, Jason, and Marquise. Out of those, what it is, 2, 4, 6. Out of those 8 names, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's the first 2 guys I think of off the dome was I like when Skip Bayless say, "Are you a Hall of Famer?" It's just be yes. It's all you should think quickly is yes. Drew Brees and Larry Fitz out of this class, the first time they're gonna represent and they're gonna headline this class. Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald are gonna headline this class this year, the 2026 class. Just like last year, you can say really, if you want to be honest, last year Antonio Gates and Jared Allen, they headline because they're the only 2 people really know that had real big impacts. People know about Sterling Sharp, but I'm just talking about my generation. Sterling Sharp last time he played was like in the early 90s, 94, 95. And Eric Allen, last time he played was like early 2000s. So people didn't really get to see him. You can watch highlights and stuff of him, but you really didn't get to see him. Just like we saw Jared Allen and goddamn Antonio Gates. But I think Drew and Larry, like I said, it's gonna be 6 spots. I give that. Now, before we get to this, we got to get to the coach and contributors. Now, when it comes to that senior list, it's going to be at least 1 senior on there. And when I'm looking at it, let me go to my phone and find it. So I can just go on here because obviously I'm not logging to Facebook. So Facebook won't me to log in. I'm not doing all that. I could just find a list on my phone. Forget all that. I think they got the list on the phone too. So when we talk about contributors, I don't think no contributors getting in this year. Let me say that. I don't think no contributor. Howard Corsair, I don't see none of these guys. They might put a guy in, but if they do, the guy I feel like Art Rooney Jr., might well put him in, man. The Rooney family, all they do. Robert Kraft. Okay, if you're going to put somebody, I can say Robert Kraft. So that's my third one. I say Robert Kraft. When it comes to the senior, I'm going to do another senior. Like I said, it's going to be 6. One is going to be a senior, one going to be a contributor, one going to be a coach. And you're going to have 3 modern day guys. The list is going to only be 6. It's going to be 7. We're going to do 4 modern day. The rest is going to be the other guys. 3 other 3 going to be that. Out of the senior category, there's some good name. Roger Craig, the first guy, rush for 1,000, receive 1,000. You got LC Greenwood, one of the pioneers of the steel curtain, you know what I'm saying, led by the Mean Joe Green and Jim Marshall. But see, LC Greenwood and Jim Marshall, sometimes they get overshadowed because when you think about Minnesota Vikings defense, you think about Carl Eller. You think about Alan Page. You think about Paul Krause. Then the fourth, you think about Jim Marshall. But when you think about the Steelers, LC Greenwood, he get overshadowed because you think about Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, Mel Blunt, Donnie Shell. You know what I'm saying? Mean Joe Green. So you name about 5, 6 guys before you even get to LC Green. But those 2 guys deserve it, in my opinion. They really do deserve it. But if I had to give a name, bro, give you my opinion, somebody feel like that truly deserve it, I'm gonna say Roger Craig. Roger Craig was going to be the senior, so that's my senior spot. I got my 3. I got my 4 guys. I got first ballot, Drew Brees and Larry. Then when you look at my contributor, Robert Kraft. Come on, 6 chips. Put that man in the Hall of Fame. 6 chips. He got more than Jerry Jones. You put Jerry Jones in, Robert Kraft, he got to be in too. Then when I look at my senior player, I'm going Roger Craig. He was a dog with the 49ers. You got to give it to him, bro. He's one of those pieces that helped the 49ers win 2 Super Bowls back in the 80s. Then when it comes to the coach, Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, first ballot, put Bill in. Bill Belichick, I know he coach. Go ahead and put Bill Belichick in now. It's cool. Now, got 2 more. 2 more modern day guys. And when I look at the list, it sucks, man, because the writers, they do have a hard job of only putting 4 modern day guys in. You know what I'm saying? Putting 4. Because they've been doing 5, 7, 6 to 7 to 8 sometimes. I'm only going to do 7. When I look at the last 2, one guy that's a no-brainer that should have got in last year. They keep tripping me out on this, but it's cool. I would have put him over Eric Allen. No disrespect. Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly will be the 3rd guy. He will be that 3rd guy. And to close it out, a guy that I feel like very underrated and doesn't get the respect that he deserves, basically based on his size, his stature. And this guy's one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, in my opinion, that don't get his love. But I feel like it's going to be somebody in that room that vouches for him. And we're going to have at least 2. We're going to have 2 wide receivers make the Hall of Fame this year. And I'm going to keep a count of my list. Because I might be put too many people in. I might just put 4 guys in like they did last year, getting shock everybody and just say it is what's going to be hard to get in. But I think they're going to go back to 7, add 3 more, put 3 more pieces to that. And I'm going to go with Steve Smith Sr., man. I like Steve Smith Sr., bro. I feel like he's very underrated, bro. What Steve Smith Sr. accomplished at that size, bro, come on, a triple crown at 5'9", 5'8", that's incredible. And I think he don't get enough credit that he deserves. You know what I'm saying? What he did for Carolina, bro. He put Carolina on the map. He put Carolina the Panthers on the map. When you thought about Carolina before Cam Newton got there, first thought, Steve Smith. So I feel like he's going to get rewarded this year. And my class, Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026 will be Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Robert Kraft, owner of the Patriots, Roger Craig, former player of the 49ers in the 80s. And to close it out, we will have Luke Kuechly, one of the greatest linebackers of all time, and the wide receiver that's very underrated and small but dangerous and hungry and gritty and just brought that energy that show it don't matter the size, I'm going to destroy you and demolish you, Steve Smith Sr. Ice up, ice up. So that's my list. If y'all disagree, let me know. But that's my list, bro. My 7. Like I said, Drew Brees, Larry Fitz, Robert Kraft, Roger Craig, Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick. And the last 2 modern era finalists, modern era players I'll put in is Luke Kuechly and that boy Steve Smith Sr. So that's my list. If you disagree, let me know. I'm gonna clip it up. If you agree, let me know. It is what it is. I'm not tripping. It's just my list based on my knowledge and who I think deserves it, who's more worthy of it. So that's it. Now let's get into some NFL games from last night. Talk about my Falcons. Man, look, man. I don't get what we're doing, man. I just don't get what we're doing. If you don't know, last night, the Falcons lost last night. And I'm just very annoyed, man. Every year, bro, they get our hopes up. And we keep getting disappointed as Atlanta Falcon fan, bro. We want our Dirty Birds to be good, man. We pray every year that our Dirty Birds are good and successful, and we can't even get a great team no more. The last time we got a great team went to the Super Bowl. Besides that, the 2017 team, they was good. I feel like we could have beat Philly, and we would have lost to Minnesota. We would have lost to Minnesota at Minnesota. Minnesota beat us that year, too. We would have probably lost to Minnesota that year, but we would have beat Philly. I feel like we could have beat Philly the year that Philly won the Super Bowl, their first Super Bowl. But besides that, we haven't made the playoffs in almost 10 years. If the Falcons make the playoff this year, it's going to be 10 years since we made the playoffs. It's going to be 10 straight NFL seasons we haven't made the playoffs, starting in 2017. So we have to play better than if we don't. It is what it is, man. I think you have to clean house, man. You have to clean house from Arthur Blank. Because you've been mediocre you've been mid for the last 4 or 5 years. You just can't get over that hump. We're 7-10, 8-9. When are we gonna get over that hump? We have to. But I just don't see. I don't see the future. I don't see where the future's bright right now because Penix is okay. The defense is inconsistent every year. You brought in Raheem because he's a defensive-minded guy. The defense is still mid, bro. Defense still mid. I gave Terry Fontenot the first 2 games, even though they weren't getting sacks. I still respected what Javon and James Pierce Jr. was doing. But now, through the 10 weeks, they both, you combine both of their sacks, 1.5 sacks combined, bro. 1.5 sacks combined between James and Javon Walker. They're not getting to the quarterbacks. And if I'm lying, I'm capping. Let me go look it up now. I'll look it up right now. I don't mind being wrong. It's still super low though. How many sacks he got this year? Let's see. 0.5. Made my point. 0.5. And Javon Walker. How many Javon Walker got? Hold on. Oh, Falcons. Javon Walker. How many sacks he got? Oh, okay. Okay, he had 2. Okay, he had 2 last game. Okay, so he stepped up, showed that he can play. Guys, that's still 3.5 sacks. That's still 3.5 sacks. And come on, bro. That's still 3.5 sacks. I'm not impressed. Hopefully he keeps that up. I need about 6-7 sacks from a first. If you're gonna be a first round DD pass rusher, you gotta at least give me 7 to 10 sacks a season. You gotta at least give me 7 to 10 sacks a rookie season, bro. For me to be like, okay, we got somebody that got some real great, that has some great potential to be a great pass rusher. Besides that, I'm gonna be like, we got a okay pass rusher that could be somebody that could be a stable guy that could play for 10, 12 years. You know what I'm saying? You can rotate him. You know what I'm saying? He's not as consistent. He probably can't be the starter DN, but he could bring a backup DN that can make plays time to time. But he's not somebody that can consistently get to the quarterback, like a Solomon Thomas. But if I'm gonna give, like I said, I always give past the first round picks, but right now it just doesn't look good. Because pass rushers, bro, especially if you draft them in the first round, you're basically saying you believe these guys can get to the quarterback. They have the potential to be great pass rushers. And Javon Walker, he had a great Sunday. James Pierce still got 0.5. I remember he got the 0.5. He got the 0.5 against the Vikings. He hasn't done nothing since then. He got some couple of pressures, but he hasn't been touching that quarterback like I want him to. He should be touching more. He should be touching that quarterback more, and he hasn't been doing that. And it has a lot to do with him getting to the quarterback and getting off that ball and firing off that ball. And to me, the D lines look weak. They don't cool down. They're getting demolished. They don't look like I don't see the D line that played against the Bulls all in Josh Allen's face. I just don't see it. Haven't seen the last 2 weeks. Last 3 weeks. I have we lost 3 straight games. Was it been 3? Yeah. I haven't seen it in the last 3 weeks. We're 0-3 in the last 3 weeks. So we have to step it up, man. I'm just tired of mediocrity. I'm tired of the mediocrity, bro. We've been mid for the last 5, 6, 10 years. I'm tired of it, bro. When we gonna get over that hump and be competitive, bro? I'm watching us just right now. We in Baker Mayfield era right now. We're in the Baker Mayfield era in the AFC. When you think about the NFC South, you think of Baker Mayfield. You don't even think about the Falcons, bro. Back in the day, you did think about the Falcons. When you thought about NFC South, you thought about Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton. You think about NFC South now, you don't even name nobody, bro. You think about Baker Mayfield. That's it. And that's unacceptable. So we have to be better as a team, and hopefully we are. But right now, I don't see it. So as a Falcon fan, I'm praying that we can get over that hump and play and have some play so we can play later in January, you know what I'm saying, in February. But right now, I just don't see it, bro. I just don't see it. And if Raheem can't galvanize the troops to get us over that hump to make the playoffs, you got to fire him, bro. And you got to bring in a guy with some experience. FY, to me, I think you bring in a Mike McCarthy, bro. Somebody that has some experience, that's shown that he could be capable of leading the team to success like he did with Dak Prescott and them. I think you bring it to Atlanta. And now you bring him to Atlanta, I think it'll work because when you play for the Cowboys, so much pressure on you. I think if Mike McCarthy came to the Falcons, there wouldn't be no pressure on him to succeed. But I think he will, though. And I think what will help him is no pressure. There'll be no pressure on you because no expectations because we've been sucking for the last 10 years. Besides, then you go to the Cowboys and expectations always win the Super Bowl because the fans are delusional. Falcon fans, we're not delusional. We'll jump. Trust me, bro. Fans would jump off the board. Like, come on, bro. Bandwagon. Fans will jump off the bandwagon if the Falcons suck and root for somebody else. They do it every year. Let the Falcons not be good. Falcon fans will jump off the bandwagon and do something else and go root for somebody else. They quit to do that. They quit to say, we out. We finna do something else. We finna root for somebody else. It is what it is. So you bring in Mike McCarthy, it ain't a real expectation. I think he'll flourish with an appendix and those weapons with a Bijan. You know what I'm saying? You give him a great running back. He hasn't really had a great running back like a B. He hasn't had a player like Bijan because when he got Zeke was on his last leg, bro. He was on his like he was outside his prime, bro. Them last couple of years when Mike was there with Ezekiel, Zeke he was showing his age, bro. He was getting old. He got old fast. Zeke got old fast. When Mike McCarthy got him, he got an old Zeke. And Zeke was still like 24 or 25 when Mike McCarthy was there. He got an old Zeke. So you can't do nothing with it. That's why they brought in Tony Pollard, and they had the little bat. They had the there was running back by committee, Tony and Zeke. So you bring it now. You got Bijan Algier, and you got Penix. I think Penix will fit well in the Mike McCarthy system. But that's just my 2 cents of it. I don't think they're going to do that, but it is what it is. Next game I want to get into, Washington versus Seattle. Listen, man, I was watching Jason Whitlock earlier, and he was saying how Josh Allen and Sam Matthew Stafford are the two front runners for MVP. Twitter last night, I posted Sam Darnold and said, if we're talking about the MVP conversation and Sam Darnold is not your number one candidate, I don't even want to talk to you. Sam Darnold in the first half, 16 for 16, 4 touchdowns. 16 for 16, 4 touchdowns, bro. He didn't have an incompletion He didn't have an incompletion in the whole first half. Sam Darnold is the MVP front runner right now. It's not even close. Now, don't get me wrong. Matthew Stafford, 21 passing TDs, 2. He had that 5 pass touchdown game. I think he had 4 against the Saints. You know what I'm saying? So he's been balling. But I'm looking at Sam Darnold, him, JSN, the running game, everything. Horton, the boy they got from Colorado State. They balling right now, man. They balling right now. You got to give it to them. They beat the crap out of Washington. They made Washington Commanders like a JV team playing a varsity team. They had no answers for that offense at all, bro. Seattle was toying with that defense. Bobby White, they made Bob Wright look super old. Von Miller looked super old out there. The Louvu, this like his 3rd, 4th year. He looked old out there. It's like they went against an old Commanders defense. The defense just looked old. Marshawn Lattimore, he out for the season towards ACL. He looked old, bro. The team just looked old. That defense looked super old. I understand you want to bring in a culture, bring in some veterans to understand winning so you can bring in that winning culture. But you also got to evaluate talent. And yes, a lot of these guys got a lot of experience, and they had moments of All-Pro and Pro Bowl season. A lot of these guys, they're past their time, bro. They need to retire. Von Miller need to retire. Bobby White need to retire, bro. They look super old at him. Marshawn Lattimore, I don't know, but I think if I'm him, I'll retire, bro. You played 10 years. You done played 10, 11 years in NFL, bro. Go ahead and just chill out, bro. You good, man. You a 3-time Pro Bowler, not a Hall of Famer, but you would be considered an NFL legend because you balled out. You're a legend when it comes to as being a New Orleans Saint. So you good, man, but let's get into this Jaden Daniels situation. A lot of people saying, why was Jaden in the game? Why was Jaden in the game? Because the game is still going on. So we're going to bench him because we losing? No, you're going to keep playing. Guy hasn't played in how much, 2-3 weeks? I don't care. You can your ass beat, keep playing. What happened to him, that happens, bro. It's football. It happened. He dislocated his elbow. It's football. He out for the season. He got to go with Marcus Mariota, who quit on us. He's a quitter. Mr. Quitter himself. Marcus Quidiota. You know what I'm saying? You got to go with Marcus Quidiota, and it's cool, bro. I think Marcus, he's somebody that he can stabilize that offense and make plays. I don't think you're going to win nothing. I think Marcus can get you at least 2 more wins during the season, upset somebody, shock the world, and beat a couple of teams that people feel like should just demolish you, you know what I'm saying, by Las Vegas and the betting odds and all that stuff. But besides that, right now, based on this and following this injury from Jaden, and the ACL, all these guys getting hurt. Luke McCaffrey, he out for the season. Marshawn Lattimore, he out for the season. Even though he hasn't been playing well all season, he's out. Man, you're looking at a 5-win team right now. I can see them winning 2 more games, going 5-12. And they're a team. Commanders, they're in a good spot because they're a team. They're not that bad. They're not that far away from being successful. They're not that far away from being successful at all. They're decent. Like, they could win some. They shown and proven that they could play in an NFC Championship game. So they're not that far away from getting back to that. So I think what's going to help them is Jaden Daniels getting hurt. He's going to be ready for training camp next year. So you ain't got to worry about that. Hopefully he don't have nothing to where that dislocating his elbow have him playing like he ain't nothing. Even though that was his non-throwing elbow. So we ain't got to worry about that. He just cuts elbow on his non-throwing arm, so he good off that. But I just hope he comes back healthy. He can still play at the level that we've seen him play. You know what I'm saying? Every time he's on the field, he looks good, no matter what. When it comes to running, turning a negative play into a positive play when nothing's there. You know what I'm saying? Throwing the ball accurately, inside the numbers, outside the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Running the ball, his mobility is great. He's one of the top running quarterbacks in the game. He's been in the game for 2 years, but you have to account for his running ability though, because he can run that thing and score a 40-yard, 30-yard touchdown and dominate the game with his legs and his arm. So you have to account for that. He is one of the best dual threat guys. He just being injured, and him from just being his second year, he is dominant. Now you can bring on an extra piece. You can find another wide receiver for him, and find a D line, another O lineman for him. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're 5-12. You're most likely going to be picking in the top 10. So you get the creme of the creme prospects. So I think it's a gift and a curse. The curse is Jaden Daniels out. But the gift, I believe, is you're going to have a top pick for next year. So right now, if I'm Commander fan, I just play hard. If I'm a guy on that team, play your butt off, control what you can control, get you some money, or to prove to you that you should be there next year. And if you're part of that front office, you know what I'm saying? I think you look at it like, shoot, at least we get to pick the top guys, and we'll be straight off that. So Commanders, they'll be straight. Seattle just dominant. Seattle, I got in the playoffs. I got winning the division. You know what I'm saying? Over the Rams and 49ers, their defense is elite. I think their defense is way better than the Colts. I mean, way better than the Rams and 49ers. I think they're a team that we're going to see in a divisional or in the NFC Championship game. I really like Sam Darnold, bro. I really like, unless he fall off a cliff next week, then he just can keep that going on like we saw in Carolina. I don't know, bro. I think the Seahawks, they're good. They probably lose a game or two, but they're good, man. And they're somebody people should fear and should account for, because if you don't, bro, Sam Darnold is going to destroy you with that arm. And JSN ain't going to cook anybody that's covering him, because nobody can cover that bar right now. He's balling. And he should be looked at as Offensive Player of the Year. We're talking about Offensive Player of the Year. JSN is a candidate for that. He should be a top 3 candidate. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but he should be a top 3 candidate up there with Jonathan Taylor. He's been playing his butt off, and he's having a great third year this year. So shout out to him. Next game. I want to talk about the Dolphins. See, the Dolphins are in shambles right now. If you don't know, after that embarrassing butt whooping from the Ravens, the Dolphins fired their GM. I know they say mutual. That's okay. We'll go based on reports. They had a mutual agreement to part ways. The GM, Chris Greer, and the Dolphins organization. And now they're going to keep Mike McDaniels there until the end of the season. Then they're going to evaluate should they bring him back or not. Main reason, Mike McDaniels, he's the play caller. He's always been the play caller. So it's going to be hard for you to fire the play caller, who's the head coach, and bring in another dude that understands the plays like how Mike McDaniel does. And to me, it makes sense. Mike McDaniel, he understands that system then throughout. He understands everything about that system. That's his system. So it doesn't make sense for you to fire him and bring in somebody that understands that system like him. It won't happen. It won't end well. He understands that system. Let him keep calling the plays until the end of the season. Then you decide what you want to do with him. You're not going to replace him. You're going to get worse. You're already bad. But if you want to really evaluate Tua, you need to keep the guy that created plays and installed plays that can help Tua and make Tua look good. And Mike McDaniel has done that. So if you want to see, can Tua really play a ball, you got to keep the head coach. He's the play caller. And nobody else is going to call the plays like Mike McDaniel, because nobody else understands that system like Mike McDaniels. So that's why they're doing that. But I just think they just traded Jalen Phillips, who I think Philly got to steal. They got to steal. He's been injured, banged up for the last 2 seasons because he got injured. I think towards ACL in 2023 season. But he's been balling, playing well when he's healthy. I think Bradley Chubb probably will be traded by Friday. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a guy you need to look out at. They're probably going to trade block too. They just traded him. They just traded a couple other guys too. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to clean house. Jalen Waddle probably will be traded by Friday. So that's just my 2 cents on that. I just think Tua's really not that good, bro. Them injuries done added up on Tua, and now he's just an inaccurate short guy. He's very inaccurate, but when he's on, he's on. When he's accurate, he's accurate. When he's on, he's on. But recently, if you've been watching the Dolphins, bro, Tua has been average, bro. His best game was against my Falcons. They beat the crap out of 34-10, 34-7. They beat the crap out. He had 4 touchdowns. Then he played against the Ravens, and the opposite was terrible. He was just terrible. The team in general, just terrible. Just terrible, bro. And I don't know what can you really do as a Dolphins fan. There's no hope. And you done paid Tua all this money, and they can release him, and it ain't gonna be that much dead money. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, dang, bro, he paid the dude all this money in his 2 years in the contract, no playoffs. And I feel Stephen Ross on there, man. I feel Stephen Ross. They make Brian Flores look a little better because he wanted Justin Herbert, but Chris Greer wanted Tua. I would have got Justin Herbert too. I'm sorry, bro. I don't care who you is. I'm always gonna take, unless it happens, it happens. But I'm always gonna take that 6'5" prototype quarterback over a dude that's shorter than 6'2". I'm just sorry. I'm always gonna take the prototype. The Tua even complained that he can't see over his O-line. Sometimes he can't see Jaylen Waddle because the O-line. That's sad to say that. I don't know why you even said it out loud. When that's already knock on y'all anyway. And that's why it took people like a Drew Brees and Russell Wilson to kill the notion that you can't be a short quarterback that can compete for NFL championships. Drew Brees won a championship. Who else? And Russell Wilson won championships. But the Dolphins, in my opinion, you have to get rid of Mike McDaniels because the players don't respect him, and they done quit on him multiple times. You guys saying guys missing meetings. That means they don't respect their coach. I don't think no guy would ever miss a meeting with Bill Parcells. I don't think a guy would never miss a meeting if Bill Belichick told you to be at this time. Mike Vrabel. They just don't simply just don't respect Mike McDaniel. They don't respect him. They simply don't respect the dude. It's just that simple. They don't respect him. And when you're dealing with where your players don't respect you, got to go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It lasted for 4 years. You got 4 years, 2 playoff appearances, and that's it. It's time to part ways. And I think they will do that after. And I think around week 17, 18, you're gonna hear reports of the Dolphins are gonna fire Mike McDaniels after the last game. And I think he'll go back as an OC. He's gonna get another opportunity, trust me. Because people are gonna look at his first 2 years, he was successful. And he is a great offensive mind. I think whoever gets him as an OC, that team's gonna be good, bro. Because one thing I'm not gonna take away from Mike McDaniels, even though he is kind of goofy, the guy can come on now. He can install some play. He got some plays now. I'll look at him like, okay, that's incredible. He can write up some plays now. He's a good play caller. And he know how to create plays that have you like, okay, that was what's up. Dang, okay, I ain't see that. He's good at that. So I respect him for that. But right now, he need a demotion, get fired. He need to go back as an OC so he can learn how to be a better coach. So next time we're not hearing, players are skipping meetings. Players don't care when the meetings start. They're coming in 30 to an hour late. We can't have that, bro. You're the head coach because nobody doing it. Mike Vrabel gonna release you. Everybody respect Mike Vrabel. So that's that. What we got? Been in here for an hour. You know what? I'm gonna end it off that. I appreciate everybody that watched today. It was a great pod. I appreciate everybody that watched. I got a pod for y'all tomorrow, and we're gonna do it be like that tomorrow too. We're gonna have 2 pods tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. I'm probably gonna do them back to back. You know what I'm saying? Get 30 minutes on one, 30 minutes on another. We're gonna recap the game that's going on right now, Monday Night Football, Arizona at Jerry's World, going against the Dallas Cowboys. We're gonna talk about that. I want to talk about Daniel Jones tomorrow. Everybody is they're selling the Daniel Jones stock after one game. I'm not selling it. I'm buying more. One game, everybody has that bad game. And Pittsburgh can do you like that. Pittsburgh still look like the Pittsburgh Steelers. To me, it wasn't more that. To me, I didn't look at that game and say Daniel Jones sucked. I looked at that game and say, okay, Steelers are playing Steelers football. So it was more of Steelers playing Steelers football than Daniel Jones sucking, in my opinion. You're going to have those games. We all have those games. Great players are going to have those games like that. Daniel Jones having a great year. He's been a great player this year. And sometimes, when you're being a great player, you're going to have bad moments, and especially when they stop the best player on the team. And Jonathan Taylor, he only works for like 40 to 50 yards. It's going to be hard for the quarterback when that's been working. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of your running back dominating, getting yards, and you hit him with the play action. And you throw that thing down the field. And when you look at a Daniel Jones, he's always been a top 3, top 5 accurate deep passer in this league. So I respect that. I think he's gonna brush off that rust that he had against the Steelers, and next week he'll be good. Hopefully he can suck against my Falcons because we need that dub. They can lose 3 games. We need that dub. So hopefully he suck against the Falcons and we take advantage of that. And Michael Penix can get that dub, keep us in playoff contention. Because right now we in the hunt. We're not even an afterthought of making the playoffs right now. We're not even a thought. We got to put ourselves in a position to be a thought. Because right now we suck. But that's my opinion on that. And we're going to talk about all that tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. Like I say, let me know about how y'all feel about LSU, Brian Kelly, and my take on that. Do y'all like my NFL class of 2026 Hall of Fame class with Drew, Larry, Robert Kraft, Roger Craig, Bill Belichick, and them boys Steve Smith and Luke Kuechly? And what's my thought? How y'all feel about my take on Coach Prime in Colorado, them firing him next year? They're not successful because it'll only be a $10 million buyout. And I'll see y'all guys tomorrow. Appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure I like the pod. Make sure I like my clips. I'm gonna put up some ticks and put some clips on TikTok. Put some clips on my Twitter. I'm put some ticks on my Instagram. Make sure y'all comment. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. And I will see you tomorrow. We out.